Remarkable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And Spark our champions!
Good on, Pepe! Goal! It doesn't get any better than that!
Hello everyone, welcome to the Game in Frame live stream. I'm Josh Pratt with Joshua Ojokwu on camera, and we're at St John's Belsome Stadium tonight for the game that needs no introduction, the Pancyprian Freedoms against Lansdowne Yonkers. It's APSL Metropolitan action, and it's a huge evening for the APSL Metropolitan title race. The so far infallible Greek Americans are hosting Leros tonight, which could be a tricky fixture. They're going to kick off at 7:30. If we have a look at our league table, that could potentially offer an opportunity for either the Pancyprians or Lansdowne to close the gap on the Greeks. For the Pancyprians in particular, the pressure has really been on since week 3 of the season. After losing 2 games already, they are 6 points adrift of their Hellenic rivals. If that gap got any bigger, it's hard to imagine they could successfully defend their APSL Metro League title. For Lansdowne, the gap is just 4 points, which certainly isn't a chasm, but they won't want it getting any wider this evening. And you can see Leros have been a bit of a jack of all trades this season. They went up to Tibet Brooks Park and drew against Lansdowne. They've been very impressive at times, but also stuttered on other occasions. So it will really depend in their game against the Greeks which Leros shows up, but they certainly have the quality on their day to beat anyone in this league. But for now, we are looking forward to the big spectacle of not just the APSL Metro, but indeed I venture to say the entire US soccer semi-pro scene for this weekend. Pancyprian and Lansdowne, it doesn't get bigger than this. The last 6 games have all been decided by a single goal margin. It really fails to entertain. And Lansdowne had the most recent triumph between the two. They won the Sal Rabaglia Super Cup in August. A brilliant Carl Galloway goal delivering them that victory. But what might perhaps be discouraging for Lansdowne fans tonight is that generally in this fixture between the Pancyprians and Lansdowne, the home advantage has weighed very heavy. Both sides have really struggled to beat the other in their own backyard, and that's certainly the case here at St John's. Last 10 meetings here between the teams, Pancyprians have won 8 and 2 have been draws. But it certainly hasn't been for lack of trying on Lansdowne's part. The last 3 meetings here, and there was 3 last season in all competitions. The last 3, all of those Lansdowne led at some point, and all of them, the Pancyprians scored a game-changing goal in the final 10 minutes. So they came down to the wire. They could have really gone either way. And we're also likely to see a few fireworks in other respects too. Last 10 meetings, 12 red cards. And that's just the players on the field. I think we'd be quite a higher number if we included coaches and substitutes. So we might get some of that in terms of entertainment factor too. Hopefully not too much, but the game is perfectly balanced. Both these teams, particularly the Pancyprians, really need the win. And Lansdowne are just emerging from the dressing room. So it looks like we are probably going to be on schedule for roughly 6 p.m. kickoff time, maybe a few minutes after. And should note that league table we showed, if we just put up again one more time, Joshua, I think Hoboken's game, just double checking that result, but Hoboken just finishing, and the last time I looked they were 2-0, just going to check again now. But with a few minutes left, Hoboken were leading New York International, so this table's not updated for that score. So yeah, I can confirm that final score was 2-0. So that would then put Hoboken at the moment actually in second place, having played a game more than all the other top 4. And Lansdowne are going to face Hoboken in a few weeks themselves. Originally going to play them next weekend, but that's been rescheduled because of another massive game they've got coming up away against Renegades next weekend. So it's certainly the business end of the season. Pancyprians, of course, are going to be in the blue, and Lansdowne in the green and white hoops. Lansdowne unbeaten in all competitions this season. It's just been the draws that have left them off the pace of the Greek Americans. But a lot could change tonight in the league table depending upon what happens between Leros and the Greeks in that top 4, and indeed in the next 2 weeks or so. Well, strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. We are in for another blockbuster ticket. Our expected starting 11s tonight. We'll start with Joe Holland's Pancyprians, Josh Levine in goal, Jack Sloys and Devon Heaney the back 2. Stephen O'Connell gets a start at left back, Nico Diaz at right back, Ricard Cederberg once again in the number 6 position. Jordan Bailon is going to be in front of him alongside Eric Frimpong, who spent a lot of the earlier weeks of this campaign playing at fullback, but he played in the midfield in the second half against Doxa midweek. It was very impressive. Indeed, I've been very impressed wherever he's played in the field. Might have an early claim to being signing of the summer for an APSL team. In front of that midfield, it's going to be Alex Pallas on the left wing, James Tristino, the Pancyprians' top scorer of the last 2 seasons, on the right wing, and Philip Jork, who scored in the Super Cup in August, will be leading the line, and he got his league count underway with a well-taken brace in the middle of the week. For Lansdowne, we're expecting Matt Kane to have in goal Christo Thulu, who is a player he started with all the way back in Met Oval, and we saw a bit in the summer with Met Oval's men's team. Very good with it at his feet, and that really plays into the sort of football Matt Kane is looking to play. Del Pozo and Musa Danso, the familiar pair in front of him. Badasic, a signing from Manhattan Celtic on the right side. Julau on the left side. Aidan Bora, Bernardi, and the skipper, Seamus Keogh, the centre midfield 3. Carl Galloway in the left wing. Benjamin Stilts up front, and Harry Sankey on the right. It will be Benjamin Stilts who kicks us off here, and we're off. It is the rivalry that keeps on giving. Both these sides find themselves a little off the pace of the Greeks early on. Not much room for error. Now than ever, particularly for the Pancyprians, it's a must-win game. Sankey early with a chance. It's set towards the edge, and hammered clear by Jack Sloys. It's partially clear by O'Connell. Should mention we're expecting to have Sebastian Ruiz come on at some point in the second half as a super sub for the Pancyprians. Give it back to Arpoyo. Lucy Danso, I was mentioning, it's been 12 red cards between these two sides in the last 10 meetings. 3 of them have gone to Danso, and he also got sent off in the very raucous Amateur Cup meeting when he was on the bench. Mind you, that time he really didn't deserve it. There was a big fight breaking out, and Danso tried to break it up, and I think the referee just got his wires crossed. Here's Kyle Galloway with his first foray forwards. Drives it in, it's a decent ball. But I think it was Coleman there, or Keogh, sorry, even in the middle, who couldn't bring it down. Alex Palace is going to surge forwards. He's gone away from Badasic. Really important touch by Danso, because Jork was in behind him. There's Danso again. Kyle Galloway scored an electrifying goal in the Super Cup meeting in August. Started actually with Christodoulou in goal, held it out, and Galloway ran half the length of the field and then expertly finished. Here's Julau, who's going to tease it in. Lansdowne starting on the front foot here at St John's. And Jordan Balon will hook it clear. Capoyo composed with his first touch. Finds it into Aidan Bora. And again, Julau's got a bit of space. Whips it in. That's a really dangerous ball. Sturt's got a touch. Couldn't redirect it onto frame. Vistas on top early on. Brought down by Aidan Bora, who missed almost the entirety of last season with injury. Julau looking cross-field for Sankey, couldn't find him. And Jork with a positive first touch, really good recovery tackle by Badasic. Nearly came in from behind, but was able to angle that run enough that he didn't. Galloway. Julau. Galloway again. Mr. Danso. Keogh, who scored in Lansdowne's last visit here from the spot. That's the APSL Metro final. Junior Rosero, who now of course has moved on to Leros, scoring a brace in that game to turn it around for the Pancyprians. Nico Diaz. Back to Levine, who dealt with that pass quite well under a bit of pressure. Galloway. Julau. Frimpong with a touch and take no prisoners tackle, but fair one by Bora. Julau. Lansdowne just starting with an extra intensity here. Julau coming into the area. Julau still with it. Just took one touch too many. He did really well to surge into the area, but then indecision and the chance escaping. And again, it's a very new look squad for the Pancyprians, with a lot of their summer signings in there. Of the 18 named tonight, 10 are new additions. Lansdowne at 6 tonight, so some turnover for them as well, which is natural for every club. At the Pancyprians, it's really been a big period of rebuilding. And losing, of course, that trio of Fatazada, Argudo and Rosero quite significant, because those three were always in and around the starting 11. Here's Tristino. Couldn't find the feet of Frimpong. Galloway hooks it towards Sankey. Borat. Bernardi. Apoyo. Borat. Into Stills, searching up towards Sanki. It's going to come back on the edge and a wild effort by Nicholas Badasic.
Chicken nuggets.
Lansdowne having almost all the ball so far. Pancyprian has just settled down a little bit. Big head up by Apoyo. Julau has had a lot of the ball already to Kyle Galloway. Hooks it back in, almost a beautiful exchange between those two. Cederberg restores order for the Pancyprians, and then Frimpong very clever with his body. Drawing the contact from Bernardi. Balin will drill this crossfield towards Palace. Badasic all over him. And he wins the throw in. Sluys back to Josh Levine, who had the best defensive record in between the sticks last season. 11 clean sheets for the Pancyprians in the APSL. It's been a much more leaky defence this year. Just one clean sheet kept thus far in the first 6 league games. Eric Frimpong came off the referee. A notable miss for Lansdowne tonight is Liam Salmon, who scored 4 goals already this year in the league. Lansdowne's top scorer there. But they've got still plenty of goals in the squad. Last year's top scorer, Ali Dawa, with 13 goals in the league, is sitting on the bench. I'm sure we'll see him at some point. Has vexed the Pancyprians on many occasions before. Here's James Tristina with his first run forwards. Balon took a step too long with his cross, and that's a good first touch by Bernardi initially, and then he let it run away. Badasic again sticking closely to Alex Palace. O'Connell hurling it towards York. Danso first to meet it. Philippe York got a well-taken brace in the first 30 minutes against Doxa on Wednesday. Pancyprians blew away their Hellenic rivals. A 3 up after 30 minutes in the first half. I'm sure would have done Jock a lot of good to have broken his league duck. Very capable striker. Slovenian, who played professionally in Slovenia and Montenegro for 3 years. He's got the big height presence, of course, but also plenty of pace and plenty of technical ability. That's a lovely interchange in the middle for Lansdowne. Kyle Galloway. He can take on Diaz here. Not the best cross, he'll get it again. Julau. Galloway, head on with the block, comes on the edge. Aidan Bora. Caught it decently. Foot or so over Josh Levine's crossbar. Lansdowne are winning almost all the 50-50s early on here. Danso with another win. Galloway. Frimpong won it back from Benjamin Stitz. Driven crossfield to Alex Pallas. Badasic been over him like a rash so far. Puts that into the car park. Philip Jork. Danso came in from behind him. He got some of the ball, but the referee judging too much of the man. And it's a good crossing position here for the Pancyprians. Looks like Jordan Bailon, who will whip this in with lots of pace. The near post punch clear by Christo Thulu. Passing in the box, Danso got ahead on it, comes back on the edge, low shot, and that'll be very comfortable indeed for Christo Thulu. As O'Connor had a very speculative effort. Toyo. Into Aidan Bora, played out well by Lansdowne. Here's Musa Danso. The danger well read by Devin Hinu, who sends it right back where it came from. Awkward for Danso. Big centre back, competent with his response. And Tristino will win the possession back for the Pancyprians with the help of Jack Sloyes, the skipper tonight for the Pancyprians. Frimpong does well under a lot of pressure. Alex Pallas looking down the channel, not enough weight on that pass. Stitz to Julau. Keogh. This is Lansdowne's first league fixture since the 14th of October. They took on New York International. And they beat New York International very comfortably 4-0 then. Lansdowne calm in possession. Kyle Galloway, lovely first touch. Going to poke it back in to Stitz. Baylor not taking any chances, but it's still Lansdowne here. After a quarter of an hour gone at St John's, who are controlling possession. Poyo, Galloway, and then Julau not on the same wavelength. A lot of Lansdowne's forward play has come down that left side so far though. Hinu drills it up. Badasic again in the right place, the right time. Poyo driving up towards Stitz. The pass wasn't really there. Pancyprians, of course, the current APSL Metropolitan League and playoff defending champions. They pipped Lansdowne to both. That was a crunching tackle. Lansdowne did get the satisfaction, though, on the final day of regular season last year of at least preventing the Pancyprians from equaling the points record they set in the 23-24 season. Two sides played each other in what was, in comparison to the more recent encounters, even-tempered game. Julau. Poyo. Thulu. Galloway. It's a sharp spin. Looking for Julau. Cederberg dropping back into the back line to intercept. York couldn't keep his balance. Kyle Galloway. Keogh. Galloway couldn't bring it down. Hammered out by Cederberg, but sent back where it came from by Poyo. And that's a little loose though by Keogh. York couldn't capitalise. Bora. Galloway. Set inside. Stitz was hoping for it. Poked away before he could get it in the 18-yard box. Bora. Poyo. Moves to Danso. Keogh. Couldn't get his feet sorted out. Alex Pallas only could. Lovely work by him, and he's looked to set away Jork. Flag is going to stay down by himself for the moment. But Jork not doing well, told that up at all. It's been a slow start by the Slovenian. Cutting pass, looking for Stitz. Levine had to come off his line. And that's ended up being a marvellous pass for Tristino. Couldn't bring it down. Danso. Bora. Poyo finds Kyle Galloway. Poyo. Coleman sets it to Galloway. He's going to dink it towards Bernardi, who's adventured forwards. John Bernardi, lovely touch. It's Julau straight at Levine. Rebound. Lansdowne lead. Harry Sankey tucks it in for the visitors, who capitalise on their strong start here at St John's. Beautiful build-up play by Lansdowne Yonkers, cutting through the Pancyprian's defence on the left side. Bernardi with the deftest of heels. Julau pile-drived it in at Levine, who could only set it down in the path of Sankey. And it's Harry Sankey's first goal for Lansdowne in the league. What a consequential one it could prove to be. 22 minutes gone here. Lansdowne 1, Pancyprians 0. And you can't say that it's anything less than Lansdowne deserved from the start they've made here. had most of the ball. And that was a moment of real quality to unlock the Pancyprian's back line. How do the hosts react? It's Frimpong with a stinging strike, but straight into the hands of Christothulo. Now the question for Lansdowne is that can they hold on to this lead? As I was saying in the pre-match, the last 3 times they've travelled to the Pancyprians, they have taken the lead at some point in the game, only to throw it away, often in the final 10 minutes. Danso with an absolute cruncher, and he got some of Frimpong in the afters, but I don't think it was a foul, although you can certainly see there's contact on Frimpong's knee. But guys, while we have this delay, let me remind you that today's broadcast is sponsored by Umbro, who are celebrating more than 100 years of football. You can learn more at umbropremier.com or give the QR code a scan. Big thank you to Umbro for being Game of Frame's 25-26 presenting partner. Jock. Danso has stuck very closely to Philip Jock thus far. Switched across to Kyle Galloway. This could be very problematic for the Pancyprians. Galloway, the danger man, onto his right foot. In the end, Diaz did really well to stick closely to him. Got an all-important touch. First corner of the night. So towards the near post. It's Bernardi who connected. But couldn't redirect it onto the frame. Diaz. Trudeau winning it back. Galloway with a hopeful knock-up. Hino watched it carefully. Barisic. Hinu once again positioned well. Look at Frimpong go. He was checked off the ball there by John Bernardi. Quite unnecessarily, I think, because Barisic looked as if he was first to it. Bernardi protesting his innocence, but you could quite clearly see he changed his path purely with the intention of obstructing Frimpong, who's taken 2 knocks in the last few minutes. O'Connell will get us restarted here. That's Laus. Hinu. Well, back by Lansdowne again. I've got to be honest, I'm not sure the Pancyprians have strung together more than 5 passes yet. Lansdowne have been relentless in the press and in the attack. Here's Julau. Low drill in. It's Bora. Another corner kick for the visitors. It was Bernardi, excuse me, to end up taking that shot. Keogh will swing this in. Slough with a commanding header. Julau heads it back towards the penalty area. Bailon completes the clearance, and now perhaps a counter-attack on for the Pancyprians. Alex Pallas, the race is on with Barisic. His touch was too heavy. Really nicely done by John Bernardi. Drills it to Galloway. Julau. Galloway. Diaz anticipating well. Jack Sloys would drive up in the direction of Philip York. And Jorka will win quite a soft free kick. Tristino looking for the switch. Cederberg heavy with his touch. Moves to Danso. O'Connell with the heavy tackle. The Pancyprians will concede the free kick. About 10 yards into their half. We're approaching the half-hour mark. Harry Sankey with his first league goal for Lansdowne, giving the visitors a well-deserved lead. They've been certainly the better side so far, and putting the Pancyprians in real jeopardy here of dropping out the title race barely a quarter of the way through the season. If they lose tonight, the Greeks could go 9 points clear, and they play Leros later this evening. It's just hard to imagine Pancyprians could overturn that margin. Tristino penalised. Julot. On a penny for Sankey. Badasic couldn't thread his way through, and the referee once again has got in the way of the ball. I think Lansdowne not thrilled with that because it wasn't entirely clear where that ball was going. It was going to a blue shirt or a green shirt in a tasty position. Diaz tussling with Galloway. And again, I think it's quite a soft free kick given. The referee's set quite a low bar for the contact. Guys, reminder, we've got lots of exciting action coming up next weekend. Lansdowne will visit Renegades in the Open Cup, the third qualifying round. The two meeting in the fourth qualifying round last year. Renegades winning that in penalties in an epic. We'll also have Leros hosting the Pancyprians at 6 p.m. and then more Open Cup third round action. Zoom Snyder against Met Oval, who have got a deep history in the Open Cup, hosting finals, a couple of them, including the last time the Pancyprians won the Open Cup in the 80s. But they've never fielded a team in the Open Cup under the Met Oval name. So that's a big moment in history. All that will be on Game and Frame next weekend. Danso. He'll win the free kick. Still got a bit of time left in this first half, but I just wonder if Joe Holland would want the whistle now to get his squad a little reset mentally. They've been really off the pace, almost all of them individually and as a team so far. Apoyo. Danso. Sankey. Keogh. Or giving it into Danso. Keogh. intricate from Lansdowne. Lovely play to break out the press. Julau onto Stitz. It's absolute exhibition stuff from Lansdowne, and then a mess is made by Diaz, and it's cut towards the frame. Not far wide at all. There's Nicholas Badasic, the right back, all the way up there. That was the fluidity of the football by Lansdowne. Total football right there. Triangles, flicks, everything, the lot. And Badasic ended up in the centre forward position. I think Levine believed he had it covered. He didn't make too big an effort to stop it. Diaz. Bailon hooks it up. Tristino. He'll ride that tackle. Diaz. Jordan Bailon. Hinu. O'Connell. Pallas back to O'Connell. Slides. Skipper marauding forwards, and he's done well. It's James Tristino. Apoyo intercepting. Kyle Galloway taking no chances. Hinu dealing with that dropping ball really well. It's Bailon. Sloys. Pass that, split it between all his teammates. Badasic. Fortunate to keep the ball that time. O'Connell spinning, and that's a lovely ball to Eric Frimpong. He couldn't find the feet of Cederberg. It's made no impact at all, Frimpong, in the number 10 so far this half. He's seen very little of it, of the ball at all. Here's Keogh. Galloway. Julau. Borat. Jack Sloy's really composed, and the break might be on here for the Pancyprian. Sloy's. Jack Sloy still with it. Tristino, Jork in the middle. Tristino can take on Del Pollo, and he didn't make the most of that at all. Just for a second there, it was a 3-on-2 in the Pancyprian's favour. Slow stepped on the ball as he's moving forwards, and that just lost them half a yard. Diaz over the hulking Jork. Hinu. It's a bit better from the Pancyprians at the moment, though. Badasic, who overall has been excellent in this first half, winning it back again. Stitz. Julau. Bora. Or Bernardi even. Sankey. Thrown to the byline. O'Connell recovered, but at the expense of a third corner kick for Lansdowne on that far side. Sent towards the corner of the 6-yard box. Cleared another delivery here, swinging with a lot of pace. Header! That looked like it clipped the left post. I think it was Barisic who connected on it. Might have been Sanki, whoever it was. Really good chance. Levine rooted the spot and very relieved to see that go. Just past his back post. Cederberg in hot water. One straight back by Lansdowne. He knew hacks it clear. Palace going to take it down. Sanki. Fizzes it in. Diaz clears it well. Tristino helping on towards Jork. And Pancyprian will just keep the ball. Tristino, and that's going to be a foul. Frimpong bullied off of it by Bernardi. Here comes Bora driving forwards. Aidan Bora still with it. Keogh forced backwards and then looking to check his way back to the byline, and he forced yet another corner for Lansdowne. Keogh once again on set piece duty. Swung it out. Pancyprian's able to clear their lines. Del Pollo can sweep up any danger. So our league standings at the moment with this scoreline, the Greek Americans, who are still to play later tonight against Leros, at the top on 18. Hoboken, who beat International earlier this afternoon, second on 16. Well, actually, sorry, now they're on third. Lansdowne in second on 17, having played a game more than the Greeks. Pancyprians way down in fourth on 12. 6 points behind the Greeks at the moment, in danger of being dropped up to 9 points if the Greeks can get victory tonight. But still a lot of time for that to change, but certainly the Pancyprians are going to have to find another gear. Musa Danso being invited forwards. Look for a clever reverse ball to Barisic. Couldn't find him. Barisic. He knew clearing. Barisic even, excuse me. Keogh. Too many blue shirts to try and thread it through. Goes back to Bora. Bernardi, Bora. Bernardi again. That time hesitates on the ball a little too long. Here's Eric Frimpong. Couldn't find Cederberg. It's just been that sort of evening so far for the Pancyprians. Stitz into Julau. Lovely ball. Sanki, the goal scorer. Barisic adventuring forwards once again, but well placed by Jordan Bailon. Bruising aerial challenge there. Galloway. That looked like it came off of Stitch's hand, but the referee's going to play a lovely advantage, and it's a really clever touch by Jack Sloy. Cedarbug overran it, turned over in the middle. Keogh. Bernardi showed too much of that pass to O'Connell, and O'Connell will surge forwards. High cross, but lacking the quality required. Jack Sloy. O'Connell. Bailon. Finds Alec Pallas. Pallas taking on Badasic. Pallas towards the byline. Badasic with a magnificent tackle. He might have been the player of the first half, honestly, Badasic. Done plenty good with the ball and stood all of his defensive tests very well. That was a good tackle as well there by Stephen O'Connell. Ticking into first half stoppage time. If you're just joining us, Harry Sankey scoring after 22 minutes to give Lansdowne the lead. Lansdowne certainly on top in this first half in terms of balance of play. Allows me another impressive performer. Both the fullbacks excellent for Lansdowne in this first half. Bailon. Played Bailon into a lot of pressure there. Diaz comes back to the Pancyprians. And that's the end of the first half. Lansdowne Yonkers in the lead and on top here at St John's. Coach Holland has got some thinking to do in the second half. It's not clicked at all for the Blues. They've generally been off the pace individually and overpowered by Lansdowne. But it's a game of two halves. We'll see what the second has in store for us. At the moment, it's Lansdowne 1, the Pancyprians 0. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back shortly with the second half.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game and Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential. So sorry guys, just got my wire in a twist. Welcome back to St John's Belson Stadium. As expected, the Pancyprians making a change, and Coach Holland has gone one step further than that, you might say. He's taken matters into his own hands, he's subbed himself on, and rightly so. He is one of the best players, if not the best, who has ever played in this division. Even as he's now gone the wrong side of 30, you might say, he's still very, very sharp, top player. So he's going to introduce himself into the lineup. Don't think we've got any changes for Lansdowne, but we'll try and verify that shortly. But certainly something had to give for the Pancyprians, who were really off the pace in that first half. Palace is still on the left wing. Looks like Tristino actually withdrawn. He was just a bit out of sorts in that first half. So Eric Frimpong's gone on the right. Holland is in the number 10 position. And we are off for this second half. Pancyprians down, but not out, but they certainly need to find a way to get at least a point, or else perhaps their title challenge has already slipped between their fingers. Matt Kane's only regret from that first half performance by Lansdowne might be that they're not further ahead with the dominance they had. And like I've said a few times already tonight, last 3 visits Lansdowne have had to the Pancyprians, they've led at some point, only to squander that lead in some form or the other. And the Pancyprians have scored a goal that has changed the outcome of the game in those last 3 meetings in the final 10 minutes or later. Tapoyo searching for Stitz. Second ball will fall down to Barisic. That's a clever pass. Sankey. Stitz. Turned into Devin Hinu. And Joe Holland will look to bring it away. Going down under contact. And he got a whack on the shoulder. Referee is going to blow up, and I just wonder if Holland fell awkwardly there. He's running absolute full tilt as he was shoulder to shoulder. Holland is going to help himself to his feet. And play will resume with the drop ball for Lansdowne. Danso. Close down. Palace. He's found Joe Holland. Danso got a foot in it. That was a really well taken tackle. And Holland is holding that left shoulder again. And this is real concern for the Pancyprians. He fell really heavily, and less than 30 seconds after getting back onto his feet, he's down again. And his evening may have lasted a matter of minutes here, Holland. It was a pretty uncontrolled fall in that body check because he was going at absolute full tilt. Sebastian Ruiz, meanwhile, was stripped down on the far side. I think Joe Holland is going to get potentially a yellow for some of the language used against the ref. We'll see. So Holland has gone into the book. They haven't had a lot of game time early on with the injury delay. And he used to be really careful, Holland. He does have a little bit of a history of getting cards for dissent. I think that he is going to be subbed off it for Ruiz. So sad to see Joe Holland, who we don't get too often in a blue shirt since he's taken over as head coach. Always exciting when he does get on the field, but it's lasted a matter of moments. I think that's going to leave Frimpong back in the midfield three. He's going to go back inside, and Ruiz is going to come onto the right side. Play will restart with possession for the Pancyprians. It's a very disjointed start to this second half. I think we had about 90 seconds at most played in these first 6 minutes of game time. Here's Philip Jork, who snuck inside. Oh, why didn't he pull the trigger? The gap was there for a second. He tried to cut back again. I think he just lost his bearings, Philip Jork, but that was perhaps the best opportunity the Pancyprians have had tonight. They can be awkward, those long pauses. One team or the other switches off, and it was certainly Lansdowne there who were caught sleeping at the back. Julau. Took too long on it, and Ruiz judged to have impeded him. Apoyo, Galloway, Sankey, Bernardi, clever reverse ball, Barisic, looking to reverse it again into Sankey, who's going to get it, you know. Harry Sankey, Keogh popping it up, and Jack Sloy's able to just set that up for Josh Levine. Barisic found himself in so many advanced positions. Both of Lansdowne's fullbacks have really been given a licence by Coach Kane to drive forwards. And not only are they making the advanced runs out wide, sometimes they find themselves more centrally as well. And there's an 18-yard box even. And it was a forward run by Julau that helped lead to Lansdowne's goal. Levine dealt with that very well. Cederberg. Frimpong. Under heavy pressure, finding Diaz. Sebastian Ruiz. Cederberg. Drives it crossfield. It's a good ball. Alex Pallas. Balasic again standing up really well defensively. Might have overcomplicated it a tad there. Palace has kept it in. Philip Jork. Bernardi recovering the ball for Lansdowne. And then that's going to be a foul. Bernardi came in the back of Cederberg. Decent crossing position for the Pancyprians. Palace will send this in. Everyone back for Lansdowne. Not a good ball in. Couldn't beat the first man. O'Connell will give it back to Josh Levine. Carl Galloway. Crunching tackle by Diaz. The loose ball will fall to Jordan Bailon, who drills it to Alex Pallas. Look at that for a first touch. Sublime by Alex Pallas, twisting and turning. He's beaten Balasic that time towards the far post. End up almost going in its own volition. Pallas springing into action. Majestic first touch. He had no right to bring that ball down. Was driven at such pace. He was at absolute full tilt. And that's the first time Balasic has really been tested tonight. And he was left behind. And Christo Fulu was certainly scrambling for a second, wondering which side of his crossbar that cross was going to go. Keogh can turn here. Galloway. Really poor pass. Pallas, no one playing off of him. Bernardi. Sankey. Galloway on the turn. Kyle Galloway! Tipped round the post by Josh Levine. Took a little deflection. And in the end, I think, took a little pace off of the ball. For Levine. Good chance. Keogh, it looks like again we'll send this in. Whipped in, Levine watches well and gathers. And he's going to look to set away the counter-attack here. Eric Frimpong. They've got the pace of Ruiz now. Here is Sebastian Ruiz. Forcing his way through. Frimpong. He's going to win the foul. Those two doing well. And a first yellow issue to Lansdowne. Bernardi going in the book. Well, already I can tell you, stoppage time is going to be a point of contention here. We're going to get a significant chunk already with Holland's injury. And we know the history of stoppage time at St John's, some of the controversies, least of all between these two teams. When they met in the league about a year ago, 6 minutes of it were played. And Jens Hoff, who isn't in the squad tonight for the Pancyprians, got an equaliser in the 96th minute. We won't even bring the Greek game into the conversation. Bailon. Once again, it's an underwhelming delivery in by the Pancyprians. Bernardi down the channel. Bora got his feet in the muddle. Nico Diaz. Jordan Bailon looking route one towards Jork, who's been very quiet tonight so far. Cederberg. Sebastian Ruiz. Ruiz cuts back. It's Eric Frimpong. Frimpong Barisic diving in. Or it's Del Pollo even, excuse me. Really important tackle to block the strike. Fired in by Diaz. It falls to Cedarbug. Another flying tackle by Del Pollo. And end up being a goal kick for Lansdowne. But these last 5 minutes, 2 good chances for the Pancyprians by Kukula. Alex Paris has crossed the chance, I suppose, but it certainly had Lansdowne worrying for a second, and then Frimpong, that was much more clear cut. From that range, if he had found some good placement, that was going in. But Pollo throwing his body on the line. Christo Thulu will restart us. Dan Soap. Christo Thulu. Pollo. Galloway. Gillard on the overlap. Hino read that danger well. That's Lois. Cedarbug's lost it. That could prove costly. It's Stitz. Borat. And Keogh straight into the hands of Josh Levine. Wasted opportunity for Lansdowne. They had the numerical advantage for a second. It's a good ball by Diaz. Jordan Bailon. Threw himself into that tackle. No, I think that will be a foul. Diaz just have a bit of a grab on Galloway. So 6 out of the Pancyprians' last 7 goals against Lansdowne have come in the second half. They still have lots of time and they've created some more this one, but here comes Lansdowne. Galloway. Ball's behind Stitz. Bernardi made a mess of it. Jork going down, and Bernardi accidentally clipping his legs. Going across field, Alex Pallas. Barisic sticking to him. Cash Lois. Levine into Hinu. Too high for Jork. Danso, a delicate touch for a big man. Barisic playing out the danger really well there. Sankey. Keogh. Stitz. He finds Kyle Galloway. One-on-one with Nico Diaz. Patient defending by Diaz. Jordan Bailon. Really well done by Bailon. Frimpong got caught on it. Cedarbug. Don't think Frimpong has looked as comfortable in that number 10 as he has in the wider positions. Devin Hinu. O'Connell. Palace back to O'Connell. There's a bit more of a zip about the Pancyprians in possession now compared to that lacklustre first half. Slows. Frimpong to alternate. Or Ruiz even, excuse me. And then he's had a bit of a nibble there, Ruiz. And then the ball was smashed afterwards, and it's the first real flare-up of tempers on the far side. No doubt it was unsporting where the ball was hoofed at. Sebastian Ruiz after the player gone. And cooler heads prevailing. Referee stepped in there quickly enough. There's another 50-50 collision, that time fair enough, involving Sebastian Ruiz. Mr. Danso. Tapoyo. Galloway, lovely touch. Keogh. Bernardi finds Sankey. Stitz. He's able to turn Hinu. Stitz cuts back and then tries to cut back again. He's going to get it again here. Stitz takes the shot. 2 for Lansdowne. Benjamin Stitz twisting and turning and giving the Irish side the cushion here at St John's. Is it finally their night away against the Pancyprians? It's been a long time coming, a victory for them here at St John's. The last 10 attempts have all failed, but truly now the 3 points are theirs to lose. 23 minutes remaining here, and it's 2-0 Lansdowne. And it's both of the new signings over the summer. Find the market. Stitz's second goal in 2 games in the league. And it's the Pancyprians APSL Metro title defence perhaps beginning to disintegrate. 7 games into the season. If this holds and the Greeks win tonight, it's a gaping 9-point gap between the Pancyprians and the top of the table. Even the most optimistic fan would be hard pressed to believe they could close that, even with so long left to go in the season. Frimpong. That's going to go straight up for a throw-in. Bernardi. And it's a funny kind of goal. Stitz looked twice as if he'd lost that ball. Kept twisting and turning and getting on the seconds, but in the end got himself half a yard, and at that range didn't need to put a lot of power in it, just got the placement. Levine didn't have enough time to react. Here's Kyle Galloway. Jalou. Corner kick for Lansdowne. Coach Holland does have Filip Merkovic on the bench. But other than that, it's not too much experience. He has to call on left in the subs. It's going to be swung in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Levine with the punch. Stitch retrieves it. Galloway. Travelled a long way. Cleared out by Cederberg. And Palace's first touch. Let it down. I think a yellow card there given to Julau for kicking the ball away once he had fallen down. Lansdowne benches in activity. I think we're going to see our first change from the visitors. Looks as if Filip Merkovic is going to come on. They also have Juan Moreno as well. I'd be remiss not to mention him. And I know there's some talk of Filip Bazali maybe arriving later. But Holland is going to make some more changes here. In short order. There's a bit of space here for Eric Frimpong. Bernardi scampering back. He's got to be careful. He's on a yellow. Frimpong in the area. Across 6-yard box. Short couldn't get his feet sorted out. It wasn't the easiest of chances at that height. Had to really open his body and try and keep over it. Wasn't able to. Here comes the triple substitution. And that is Jork's last touch. He's going to be withdrawn. Palace is going to be withdrawn too. And Nico Diaz as well. So we'll see exactly what this shape is going to be now. Oh, you know, actually, Jork is going to stay on, excuse me. Just came over, I think, to get some instructions from Holland. So Towie on at right back. Reese is now on the left side. By the looks of it, Juan Moreno on the right. And Filip Merkovic in the centre midfield. Slice. Hinu. Sebastian Ruiz. Colonel forced backwards. Chaslois. Hinu. Frimpong. Hinu into Frimpong again. Lansdowne press is relentless, but Frimpong has turned Bernardi. O'Connell. Ruiz, he's away from Batisic. Sebastian Ruiz across 6-yard box. Jork again. Getting a touch on it, but once again it was quite an awkward height for the centre forwards who couldn't hit the target. But twice Pancyprians have managed to break down that left side in the last 2 minutes. Coach Kane is going to make his first change. And it's Kyle Galloway who's going to make way. And when we can, we'll get a look at that number for Lansdowne. It's a little tricky to spot the Lansdowne numbers, honestly, because you can probably see on your camera, on your screens from green, dark green hoops with black numbers. Not clear at all. I'll do my best in a second. Just trying to see who's coming on that left wing. Fired up by Hinu towards O'Connell. There's a little nudge in the back there. Batisic and the referee spotting. So it looks to me as if it's Liam Walsh who's replaced Kyle Galloway on that left wing. Jack Sloyce does well. Merkovic into Philippe Jork. His first touch was too heavy. So he tried to bring it under a spell. Pancyprian still do have time to retrieve something out of this, or else they're going to be relying on a massive helping hand from Leros later tonight. And incidentally, let me remind you guys, next week we've got lots more action. Lansdowne visit Renegades. We're going to have that live on Game of Frame Saturday night. 7:45 kick-off, the third qualifying round of the Open Cup. And then the Pancyprians will visit Leros on Sunday, 6 p.m. And then Zoom Snyder will host Metropolitan in the Open Cup third qualifying round on Sunday evening. All that on Game of Frame, alongside a lot of other games that you can find on our YouTube channel, the full list. Towie. Give a go with Moreno. That's Laus. Moreno's going to chase that ball down, but Del Pollo clearing initially, then lost under pressure, but one straight back by Bernardi, who's going to send the ball down the channel. He knew covering. And Levine clearing. Philip Jork looking in for Frimpong, who's got the pace, but not quite enough to nip in ahead of Nicholas Badisic. Really well played out by Lansdowne. Beautiful football. Referee's going to play a good advantage. Keogh, gaping hole on the right side of the Pancyprians defence. It's Henry Sankey. It's Keogh. They're queuing up in the middle, but there at the front post to clear the lines. And now Philip Jork will make way. We'll see who came on in just a second. Fizzed in. Sloyce meeting it with the thigh. Borat. And Liam Welsh got lots behind it, but straight into the hands of Josh Levine. It's Kevin Hernandez who's come on for the Pancyprians. This is his league debut. Baylon wins that 50-50. Merkovic, Frimpong, here's Sebastian Ruiz. Ruiz with the step over. Sebastian Ruiz towards the far post. No one had gambled back there. Moreno will keep it in. Whip back in low. And then Frimpong came in a little bit late on Del Pollo. And the referee will blow up and give Lansdowne some respite. And whilst we have this injury delay, looks like Badisic's down. Let me remind you guys, today's broadcast is sponsored by Umbro, who are celebrating 100 years of football. You can learn more by scanning the QR code or visiting umbropremier.com. Sent down the channel, Sankey is able to keep it in, but a little more than that. Levine. Hinu. O'Connell. Didn't get the ball right. Hinu. Markovic. Bailon. Markovic switching it and sent down the line by Towie. Throwing for the Pancyprians. They still do have time. You've got to remember, with Holland's injury early in the second half, which probably took about 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, we are going to get a substantial chunk of change, I think. But the Pancyprians have got to find themselves a goal soonest to give themselves something to chase. Here's Georgian Bailon with a long-range strike. And it was really awkward for Christo Thulu, who nearly spilt that to the prowling Kevin Hernandez. Swerving strike. Here comes the corner kick. Taken quickly. The set pieces have not been good by the Pancyprians. Towie. They've rarely beaten the first man. Towie, he finds Eric Frimpong, who spins. Jordan Bailon towards the far post. And that's a simple gather for Christo Thulu. Christo Thulu again. Dan Soap. Barisic. Once again, eyes in the back of his head, and he's found Sankey, who is away from O'Connell. Sankey with Stitz in the middle. It hit Jack Sloys as it made its way into the 18-yard box. Here's Jordan Bailon. Ruiz going for the nutmeg. Not really the right area of the field to try that. By the ball by Barisic. Wayward. Trevor, now that's a really good ball to Hernandez. They were surrounded and then had a really naughty tackle from behind and will go in the book. Nowhere near the ball there, Hernandez. Bernardi, Keogh pulled the strings all evening. Sankey. That ball coming on the edge of the 6-yard box. It'll be a corner kick. Lansdowne will make another change. Bernardi replaced. And it's James Boot, a former Pancyprian player, who's replaced him. Ball dinked in. Swinging on the volley, smart save by Levine. I think it was Sankey who had that strike, got lots of power. Hernandez winning that tussle, looking down the channel, asking far too much of Eric Frimpong. Stolu taking a chance, that ball ended up paying off very nicely. The referee's going to play advantage. Jalal. Liam Walsh giving out wide, set inside. It's Niko Badasic. The rebound nearly falling to, I think, Borat. Or actually Booty, excuse me, the substitute. And then the foul will be given for Lansdowne, and yellow is going to be issued to Towie for that late tackle a few minutes ago. Well, if Laris can hold the Greeks to a draw after this one tonight, or can beat the Greeks, it should be quite an upset. And Pancyprian is still alive, but just about. But if the Greeks win tonight, 9-point gap. Could anyone say the Pancyprians are still in the title race with that sort of margin? It would be a miracle if they could turn around. Only team to have won the APSL, having lost 3 games, is Doxa, who did it in the 21-22 season, and they won every other match they played in that campaign. Markovic switches it to Sebastian Ruiz. Ruiz gets it again. And Sebastian Ruiz is going to take on Badasic. Looking for the clever touch in towards Frimpong. O'Connell. Ruiz. Markovic. Jack Sloys. Jordan Bailon spins. Let's fly! Shaves the crossbar. That ball dipped and swerved and whistled through the air, but ended up just rippling the top of the net rather than hitting the back of it. And even with the 5 or 6 minutes I expect we'll get of stoppage time very much against the Pancyprians now. And looks like Lansdowne are going to end their unhappy away form against their rivals. Like I said, on record at least, what we were able to find researching, last 10 meetings where Lansdowne have visited the Pancyprians, Pancyprians have won 8 of those and Lansdowne lost 2. And mind you, it's not too dissimilar story for the Pancyprians, the reverse way when they're visiting Lansdowne. Neither side have done well travelling against the other. Lansdowne look like they're finally going to find that victory that they've come so close to in recent months here. They've been denied by stoppage time goals and more. But it looks like it's finally going to be their moment, and overall with the performance they put in tonight, you cannot say they don't deserve it. Sebastian Ruiz. Switches it to Sloys. Markovic. Sharp pivot. Moreno gives it back to him. Towie. Moreno. Towie pokes it to Devin Hinu. Sebastian Ruiz. Bit of space on the right side here for Juan Moreno. He got something on the ball but couldn't really control it in that 50-50 with Chulao. And Lansdowne are going to look to rub salt on the wound here. It's Sankey onto his left foot. James Boots, unable to hit the target. Oh, he would love to score against his former side. Markovic. Moreno just about able to keep it in. Towie. So he's hopeful look up towards Hernandez, who inadvertently tripped Apoyo. Ticking into stoppage time. And Lansdowne are ticking to within a point of the Greek Americans. Again, remember, they're about to kick off, or they may have indeed kicked off at Hofstra against Leros. So the Greeks could re-establish the 4-point lead, but with this victory, Lansdowne leap back over Hoboken, who won against New York International earlier this evening. The referee is going to go and issue a card to someone on the bench, and he's given one to Matt Kane. And I'm not sure who asked him, maybe one to Cameron Thacker, the assistant coach. Really not sure what has happened on that far side. Daryl Kavanagh, the veteran, who is 39 years old now. Astonishing he's still playing at this level, but every time I've seen him, he still looks more than a fit. And there's a spectre shot, and it's a beautiful cherry on the top of the cake for Lansdowne Yonkers. Spectacular goal. And it's Benjamin Stilts who let off that absolute stunner. Josh Levine rooted to the spot. It's his second of the evening, and it is a famous victory in the annals of Lansdowne Yonkers. It's his last kick of the match. What a way to drop the mic. It sat up decently for Benjamin Stitz, but he still has so much left to do, and he couldn't have hit it any better. I was saying the last 6 meetings between these sides have been decided by a 1-goal margin or have been a draw, but this one is Lansdowne through and through. And they're in the mood for more here. It's Daryl Kavanagh who's going to fire it straight towards the crossbar. I thought so over. Pancyprians, I think, just want that final whistle now. It was looking like it might be a rebuild year for them with some of the players they lost over the summer. The amount of newcomers takes any side time to gel, but I don't think even in their worst nightmares they'd be losing 3-0 to their bitter rivals Lansdowne. Frimpong dispossessed fairly by Badasic. And Sebrin's looking for at least the consolation. Ruiz, again, not a good cross from the Pancyprians. Sebastian Ruiz. Markovic. O'Connell. Frimpong. Frimpong driving towards the touchline, but Badasic was just shepherding him out. And that is the full-time whistle. Lansdowne Yonkers with the famous victory at St John's. They end their woeful run away from home against the Pancyprians. For the first time in over 10 games, They win away against Pancyprians, and they did it in style. A brilliant performance. Man to man from the men in green and white, and a brilliant team 1-2, and some of those goals were worth watching back, particularly the third. Pancyprians soundly beaten. They had moments in that second where they looked like they might bring it back, but truth be told, Lansdowne were much the better side this evening. They go to within a point of the Greeks, who are playing right now against Leros. If the Greeks can win, then they will go back and get ahead 4 points clear of Lansdowne, and the Greeks will then go 9 points clear of the Pancyprians, and that's probably their title race done and dusted. The Pancyprians record after 7 games is 1-4, lost 3. A reminder, guys, what we've got coming up next weekend. Lansdowne visiting Renegades in the Open Cup third qualifying round. We're going to have that live from Susha at 7:45 p.m. Huge period this for Lansdowne, actually. They're going to face Hoboken as well. We're waiting to see when that game will be rescheduled, but that will presumably be in the next week or two. Then they're going to face Nyack in the Anissa Cup on the 8th or 7th. And then it's a big one against the Greek Americans on the 15th. That'll be their chance to close the gap. For the Pancyprians, they will play Leros next weekend, Sunday evening. We will have that one live as well. And then they face Zoom in the Anissa Cup. And then a relatively routine, on paper at least, run-in against Richmond, Nyack and Hoboken before the winter break, which will mark the halfway point in the season. Lansdowne getting their standing ovation. Well, guys, a big thank you to the Pancyprians for bringing us down today. Thank you to Umbro for sponsoring the broadcast. Thank you to Josh Jacques for doing the great work behind the camera. Thank you to all of you for watching. This is Josh Pratt signing off from St John's Belson Stadium. Have a good night, everyone.